welcome back to my channel. So as promised, today I'm going to be sharing my updated makeup brush favorites slash beauty tool favorites in my collection. I think it's been over a year since I filmed one of these videos, so I have a lot of new things to talk about. Hopefully we'll be able to give you guys some great recommendations at a bunch of different price points if you are looking to add some new makeup brushes to your collection. Also, I just want to say hi and welcome to any of you who are new to my face. My name is Lauren. Thank you so much for coming, hanging out, and chatting beauty with me. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so hopefully you'll click that little subscribe button down there somewhere, wherever it is, and come back and hang out with me again next time. And in the meantime, let us get into my updated favorites and my makeup brush collection. So as an aside, as I was picking out the brushes for this video, I realized I do use quite a few brushes that were like limited edition, things that were like for holiday last year or that I got as like exclusives in subscription boxes and things like that. So I did not include any of those brushes here in this video. Everything we're going to talk about is stuff you should be able to go and buy right now because I only wanted to make video with things that, you know, you can actually go and get. I don't want to share a bunch of favorites that you're like, haha, sucks to be you. You can't get these anymore. I also will link every single brush in the description box if you want to check it out or buy it for yourself. So make sure you go down to that description box if you want to get more information on anything we talk about. So why don't we start out with basically the first thing I do when I do my makeup, which is usually applying foundation. Now, a brush that has been a long time favorite of mine, and I think this is something I included in my favorites last year, is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. Real Techniques is a really affordable brush brand. They're sold at all kinds of drugstores and at Ulta, at Kohl's. They're pretty much all over the place, and this brush has been around in their collection since pretty much the very beginning. It's a really soft brush, but it's quite dense, and it's really nice for buffing on cream and liquid foundations. It retails for $8.99, so definitely not like the most ridiculous brush out there, and because it's drugstore, usually you can get it on sale or use coupons or things like that. The only thing about this brush that I don't like is that the handle is really chunky and it's wider at the base. Like, it feels good to hold, but when you're putting this in a cup of makeup brushes, it takes up a lot of space. So that's the only downside, but if you are looking for a nice, affordable way to buff in your foundation and get a really nice flawless finish, this one is very, very good. But if you're willing to splurge a little bit, something that I really have been enjoying using a lot lately is this Sonicblend makeup brush from Todd Beauty. This is expensive. This is expensive as heck because it is like an electric powered makeup brush. It charges by USB, and it uses like a sonic technology, so it's not a rotating brush. It like pulsates at like a ridiculously high rate, and it almost like vibrates the foundation into your skin. It's a little weird, I know, but it really does apply foundation so evenly and like helps to make your makeup, like the foundation itself, go even further and spread more evenly over your skin. So this retails for I think $79, so it is very pricey, but it is like, it can also blend in like cream contour, concealer, like it can blend in all kinds of other products as well, not just foundation. I personally just really like it for applying my foundation and making it really nice and even. So if you're looking to splurge on a beauty tool, this one is really cool, and I did a demo of applying my foundation with this, so I'll link that video for you guys if you want to check out and see how this works in action. Now, I know this is technically not a brush, but I do use this frequently to apply foundation, concealer, all kinds of cream products, cream blush, highlighter, all that jazz, and that is my NYX Blending Sponge. Now, I love my beauty blender, don't get me wrong, but I feel like beauty blenders are a little bit overhyped. They're also expensive. They retail for like $19. I also hate that like the original pink beauty blender bleeds. Like every time you wash it, your sink is covered in pink. I don't really know what's up with that. I have never had a problem with color bleeding with any of these NYX sponges, or well, this one, it's the only one. So this little guy retails for $7.99, and again, it's NYX, it's drugstore. You can use coupons a lot of times. It goes on sale at Ulta, so definitely is, you know, a much more affordable alternative to the beauty blender. It has a nice rounded bottom like a beauty blender, but it has a different kind of top. This has a flat edge, which I actually really like for under the eye. especially like if you wanted to bake, this would be a really great sponge because you could really pat on powder very easily. And right now it's not wet, so it feels pretty dense, but it does puff up nicely when you wet it. I feel like it blends in my makeup really nicely, and I like that it's black because it doesn't get stained. So if you're looking for a beauty sponge, if you're looking to experiment with the whole sponge trend, I would recommend these NYX ones because I think that they are very good for the price. Now for powder, I have two brushes. They're both actually from the brand Moda brushes, which is a subsidiary of Royal & Langnickel brushes. So if you've heard either one of those terms, they're basically part of the same company. Moda is very affordable, but they make really high quality synthetic brushes, and they're also really pretty. They have so many like cool little collections now within their line, and they've been releasing so many new things. Really excited to check out some of their new stuff. But in terms of like my current staples, I really like their powder brush. This is the BMD 100 brush. It retails for $9.99. So again, it's not like super cheap, but it's not like $30. These brushes are carried at Walmart as well as online at the Moda Brushes website. So usually pretty easy to get your hands on these. And why I really like this brush is it's gigantic. Like this is perfect for dusting powder all over your face and powdering very quickly. It's also really, really soft, and because it is a synthetic brush, it's really easy to clean. I've washed this a bunch of times and it still looks really good. So I feel like for $10, definitely if you're looking for a nice big fluffy powder brush, this is a really great option. Also, now this one is newer to me, but I actually really love this for setting underneath my under eye. This is the BMD 120 contour brush. I think this retails for $7.99. And this is designed for contouring, obviously, which you could, you know, get like a nice chiseled contour, but I kind of feel like in a way it's a little too small for me to blend out my contour. I like something that's a little bit softer so there's not any harsh edges, but I feel like this is the perfect shape. Like it's nice and rounded, but it's still kind of precise for putting powder right in this under eye area, and it's super, super soft. So I kind of feel like this is a nice multitasking kind of brush. Like you could probably even use this to buff in cream or liquid concealer underneath your under eyes because it's synthetic, so it will wash out really well if you're putting creamy products in these bristles. So yeah, definitely if you're looking for a nice little multitasking face brush, this contour one is an excellent option. So when it comes to what I do actually really like for contouring right now, I've been really into this crown brush. This is the medium face contour. It's the SS035 medium face contour brush. It retails for $6.99. You can get this online from the Crown Brush website. It has this nice little divot here for your thumb, which makes it very comfortable to hold when you are using it. But this is a really nice soft synthetic brush, and it's got like, it's pretty dense, so, and the bristles have some nice like spring to them, so it is able to apply makeup very precisely but still blend it out and not leave any harsh edges. And I like this shape because it's kind of long and it's not rounded, so like you can really get a nice blurred outline if you're contouring your cheekbones, and you could even contour around the perimeters of the face. This is what I use to apply my bronzer today, actually. So this is great because it's not super expensive. $7 is very, very reasonable. It's a nice quality brush. I've washed this a bunch of times as well, and I haven't had like any shedding or anything like that. So definitely for contour, this one is a plus. So when it comes to blush, this brush I'm pretty sure I featured in my last video. I've had this brush for years and it is still hands down my favorite blush brush. And the fact that it still looks as good as it does and I've used it as much as I have speaks to the quality of this brush for the price. This is from Coastal Scents. It's one of their elite brushes. This is the angled blush brush. And this retails for, I think it's supposed to be like $6.95, but right now the website says it's $4.95. So $5 for this brush is such a steal. It has a really nice bamboo handle, so it feels like durable, but still really lightweight. The bristles are synthetic, but they are so, so soft. Someone in the review said it's soft as kittens, and like seriously though, it actually really does feel soft as a kitten. And why I like this kind of brush is I feel like this angled shape is perfect for applying blush and just making it look really natural. You can kind of turn it as you need to. You can apply it so the brush kind of goes the flat way along your face, or if you wanted to contour, you can kind of turn it the skinny way. And I've often used this to apply bronzer. It's just like a really nice versatile tool. Because the bristles are soft, they don't pick up like an insane amount of product, which is nice for blush. Like you don't want your blush to go on your cheeks insanely pigmented because then it's going to look too harsh and overdone. So this is just really nice for a natural application. It's fairly soft and it's one of my hands down all-time favorites, and it's $5. $5. Now this brush I didn't realize is actually not out yet. So this is like a sneak preview for you guys. So like if you want this brush, put it on your wish list because they're going to be debuting early next year. I got this in a BoxyCharm box, so this must have just been a little special sneak peek for BoxyCharm subscribers that Moda brushes did. They have often featured their brushes in BoxyCharm before. So they're launching this new Moda Pro line. So it's like you can tell like the handles are similar on these brushes, like they're both the same kind of thickness, but the Pro brushes have these like nice soft touch, kind of almost like quilted handles. The bristles are like a black to white ombre. They're super pretty. They probably have a similar style brush of this one in the original Moda collection if you want this shape, but if you like this design, the Pro actual like looking brushes are coming out the beginning of next year. This is the pointed blush brush, and I just wanted to point out that this shape brush I really like for doing a lot of different things. I feel like this kind of brush is really handy to own because you can use it for a multitude of different things. Now it says it's pointed blush, so obviously yes, you can use this to apply blush. You could also use this to apply bronzer because it's still nice and fluffy. What I like about it is that it's got like this pointed tip, so it gives you precision if you need it. So like if you want to be more precise about blending around your hairline, blending around your cheeks, this is really nice for that. You can also use this to powder, which is one of my favorite things. Like if you just want to tap some powder onto this area of your face, if you want to dust away bake, like this is nice and precise, but it's still really soft and fluffy. So it's just a really great all-around powder, like powder brush multitasker if you want to apply or be able to like I said, dust away fallout or things like that. It's just nice that it's a little bit more compact than this kind of a powder brush. Like this powder brush, obviously it's so big that it's hard to get this in the under eye area, whereas this brush, like you can really get in there nicely and just kind of like dust away product, or you can pat in around your cheeks if you're like me and you need to touch up because you're super oily. This is just very, very handy for that. And then of course, highlighting is like all the rage right now, so you gotta have a good brush to highlight with. Now, one of my all-time favorites is a Luxie brush. Their tapered highlighting brush is so beautiful for applying highlighter, but this thing kind of hella expensive. This brush retails for $24. Luxie brushes are definitely pretty premium. They are also synthetic. They're super soft. Obviously, these rose gold brushes are freaking beautiful, but they're expensive. So if you don't mind splurging and treating yourself, this brush, what I love about it is it's rounded, but it's kind of like it poofs out a little bit at the tip, so it is still small enough that you can get nice precise application of your highlighter, but it's fluffy enough that it blends it out really nicely, so you can get right around your eye, on your tops of your cheekbones, your nose, your cupid's bow, like even up on the brow bone. Like this thing is beautiful for putting your highlighter on. I use it all the time, but again, $24 is a lot. So I got you if you don't want to spend that much money. Moda also released these like metallics brushes. So within the Moda line now they have these Moda metallics, which have these metallized handles. They're either like a rose gold, a gold, or a silver like this. They're really, really cute. So this highlighting glow brush comes in the original Moda packaging and then also these fun shiny ones as well. And this highlighting glow brush is really, really nice for applying highlighter as well. This one retails for $7.99. So $7.99 is a little bit more reasonable than $24. But again, this is nice for applying highlight. It's a little bit more flat than the Luxie brushes. Like the Luxie one you can see is bigger, and it also has a rounded ferrule, so the bristles kind of are in more of a circular shape. This one, the ferrule is pinched, so like it's a flatter brush, which I do find is actually really nice for applying your highlight. It's still soft enough that it doesn't like leave you looking stripey. And again, this is a nice one for if you need to set under the under eye, because you can just kind of pat, pat, pat right in there. So it's a nice handy little brush to have in your collection for sure. And then I've got a whole bunch of eye brushes here. I feel like of anything in my collection, the things I am most picky about are my eye makeup brushes. Face brushes I can kind of like make do with whatever. I feel like they're a little bit more forgiving, but I feel like when it comes to doing your eye makeup, you can either like really make or break a look depending on what brushes you're using, because if your brushes suck, it's just so much harder to blend, to make things precise, and it can just really drive me crazy. So I definitely have my favorites. And these are like my tried and true. If I could only have these brushes, like these always help me make my eye makeup look on point. So this is the last Moda brush I'm going to talk about. I know I talked a lot about their brushes, but I do really like them a lot and I use them all the time. I have quite a few in my collection. So this one's also from the Metallics line. This is the M14 Small Eye Shader Brush. And this little guy is so nice for patting color on the lid. It's like, it has a little bit of fluff to it, but this is not really a blending brush at all because the bristles are pretty stiff, like not stiff to the point where they are like painful if you're putting them on your eyes. They're not. They're very, very soft. They're just a little bit more springy, so they don't like kind of collapse when you put pressure to the brush like on your eye and kind of fluff out everywhere. So if you are looking to pack color on your lid, this is a really nice brush for doing that because it's still fluffy enough that you can really like scrape up the shadow in the pan and like get a lot on the brush. And then it's nice and compact. So also if you have smaller eyes, I think you'll really like this because you can like be really precise with where you're applying the actual shadow itself. This little guy retails for $5.99, and looking on the Moda website, like they offer sets of their brushes as well where you can get them for like an even better deal. So if you are someone that really needs to like start out from scratch and build their brush collection, I would definitely recommend checking out some of their sets and seeing if what's in it would work for you. Now, when it comes to actual blending, like in the crease and transitioning colors, I have a couple brushes that are like my die-hard go-tos. So when it comes to applying color in the crease and actually like building up pigmentation, but also having precision in where I'm blending, my current like hands down holy grail is the Morphe M441 brush. This is a natural bristle brush, but Morphe says they are cruelty free, so depending on how you feel about that, just as an FYI, this is a natural bristle hair. I think it's a goat hair brush. Retails for $6, so Morphe brushes are really affordable. And what I love about this brush is the fact that the synthetic bristles they're not scratchy on the skin, but they're a little bit more rough in texture, so they can pick up product more easily. Sometimes really, really soft blending brushes don't pick up enough product, and like you have to kind of keep applying, and it takes for freaking ever. This I can get like full-on pigmentation, no problem. So I'll go in with this first, and it's also, right now mine's a little fluffed out because I just used it and I cleaned it with some spot cleaner really quick. But it has a slightly more tapered point to it, so it's pretty easy to get right in that crease and keep things relatively precise. But this is just really like my first step brush if I'm doing an eye makeup look, that I'll just go in with the crease with this and I can build up my color no time, really quick and easy. Now, when it comes to actually wanting to blend out color, to blur lines, to just kind of soften things, my favorite brush is the NYX Blending Brush. This retails for $10, so this again is kind of a little up there for the fact that it's NYX, and usually they're super, super affordable, but I don't know if you guys have noticed, NYX has been kind of like pushing that drugstore line a little bit. They just came out with a $30 eyeshadow palette, and I don't really know how to feel about that. But anyway, this brush is great, and I definitely love this just for, like I said, for blurring things out, for smoothing out any harsh lines. I feel like it's a little too soft to really pick up product well. Like sometimes, like if I want to use a lighter color, I'll pick it up with this just to smooth out any harsh edges, but a lot of times I'll use it just clean without any product on it, just to blur and buff. But either way, this is a really great brush. It washes really well. Again, it's synthetic bristles, and it looks pretty nice too. Like I feel like even though NYX's drugstore, their brushes are quite pretty, so I appreciate that. Now, if there's one brush in my collection that's expensive, but I think is hands down totally worth it, it's this one, because I use this brush like literally every single day that I do my makeup, because it's such a game changer for me. It's perfect. This is the Luxie Small Tapered Blending Brush. I can't remember if I talked about this in my favorites last time. I know I've mentioned it before on my channel quite a few times because I love this freaking brush. It retails for $18 or $16? $16. Still a lot of money for one brush, especially a brush that's so tiny like this. But that is the magic of this brush. It is a blending brush. Like this, very much shape-wise, is similar to the NYX one, but it is much smaller. And what this is amazing for is detailed application of like darker colors in that outer corner of your eye, where it's so easy for things to take a wrong turn very quickly. Anyone who's done a smoky eye knows, like, sometimes you're applying that black eyeshadow or a dark color and then all of a sudden you look like a freaking raccoon because you just kind of like went overboard. Yeah, sometimes it's just because the brushes you're using are too big for the eye area and you can't keep that precision and keep things nice and tight, and this brush is perfect because it's fluffy enough that you can still blend and like make everything look nice and seamless, but it's tiny enough that you can do it in a really small area. So whenever I need to do my eye makeup and I want to do something more intense and creative, I'm pretty much always using this brush, because if I need to work with any darker colors, this just makes my life so much easier. Speaking of detailed precision work, I have a couple other like specialty brushes that, like, if I'm going to be doing my eye makeup and really going ham, these are things that I reach for because they just allow me to do things a little bit more precisely and make my life a million times easier. So the first one is this Morphe brush. This is the E36 brush. This is their detail crease brush. It retails for $5, and this little guy right here is good for a couple of things. It's really good for applying color on the lower lash line because it's teeny tiny, but it's still pretty soft, so you can kind of buff and blend, but still keep everything nice and tight to the lash line. Also, this is really good for applying highlight in the inner corner of the eye where you want to, again, keep things nice and tight. You could also like spot conceal with this brush. Anything you need to do like really detailed work with, this guy, amazing. Then this guy. This little guy is like my secret weapon. This brush retails for less than $3. It's $2.89 off the Crown Brush website. It is the C464 Oval Lip Brush. But I never use this brush for my lips. I use this brush on my eyes, and man, this little guy is like the best. It is a teeny tiny, super thin synthetic brush. So it's got like a pretty nice amount of stiffness to the bristles. So this is perfect for patting on like colors, pigments to detailed areas of the eye. Like you could pick up like a glittery pigment and just kind of like boop boop tap it on to a very precise area, and it works so well. And of course, if we're going to be talking about eye brushes, you can't forget your brows. It's so good to have a solid brow brush in your collection. My favorite one is the NYX one. Right now, this one retails for, I think, also $10, like the blending brush, maybe $9. But this is a dual-ended brow brush. You have your little angled brow on one side and then a spoolie on the other. So I use this with all of my like brow little powder compacts and things like that. You could also technically use this for eyeliner if you were like in a pinch. Also, these little spoolies are really great for combing out false eyelashes. If you've spot cleaned your falsies and you need to like kind of comb the lashes out and kind of make them look nice and fluffy again, you could use a little spoolie like this. Just make sure you clean it first so it doesn't have like brow product all up in it. But yeah, this is just like, it's pretty self-explanatory, but this is just a really nice brow brush. It has held up well. I've used it a million times, and the bristles, like, they haven't frayed or splayed or anything like that. They're still looking really good. So I definitely would recommend this one if you're looking to add one to your collection. So those are all of my brush recommendations I wanted to share with you guys. I hope this was helpful. Hopefully this not only showed you that there are some really great affordable options out there, but also don't be deterred by the name on the label of a brush and think that that's the only way that you can use it. You should make your makeup brushes work for you in whatever way makes the most sense. So definitely I feel like a lot of my brushes are really good multitaskers, or what they're designed for originally isn't even what I end up using them for. So hopefully you feel a little inspired to play around with what you already have and see how you can make the brushes you already own work for you even better. Again, I will link everything for you guys down in the description box if you want to check anything out. And if you guys have brush recommendations you want to share with everybody, post them in the comments down below. I love chatting with you guys and hearing from you, and I'm sure everybody would appreciate your recommendations as well. As always, if you enjoyed this video, found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate your support. And if you are new and you haven't already clicked that little subscribe button down below, I hope you will do that before you click out of this video, so that way you can come back and chat beauty with me again in the future. I will be posting again on a Wednesday. Videos usually go up at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So thank you guys again so much for coming and hanging out with me today. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.